This video is personal. I wish I could tell my past self what my present self knows today about ego. And a lot of people in my life really need to hear this video to grow as a person. You are not your ego because your ego needs defense, but you don't. In order to make this clear, your ego is the concept of I, or self. And if you only ever associate with I, or self, you won't align with reality. There are three ways to tell a story. There is your story, their story, and the truth. You can never get their story or the truth if you are only in your ego, because the concept of I won't evolve. You need to be conscious in order to understand that ego is a part of your consciousness, but not all of your consciousness. Ego allows for your will to transform into actions. It is a necessary weapon in your life. But if you associate with only your ego, then you will never understand the other parts of reality or what could apply to your current form of self. Your self is an ever-evolving form if you choose not only to associate with your ego. If you only associate with your ego, you make rash, irrational actions that would never make sense when you're out of your ego. I'll give you some great examples. Saying bye to everybody I've ever known because you say, you know what, I am like that, I'm him. The problem is when you choose to make an irrational decision and stick with it because you say it's you, you won't ever understand how harsh that reality actually is. Instead, you're stuck believing it's real because you only incorporated your sense of self. It is incredibly selfish to only have a concept of self. The rest of the world aligns with you when you incorporate yourself with the world. It is not only about your actions, it is about you evolving over time. And you can only do that with the world. You can't do that through the world. You can do that with the world. Many people validate their ego by saying, I don't have a superego. I'm related to Sigmund Freud, so I'll make this clear. Your superego is when an expectation from others is met with guilt or shame. And people counter their guilt and shame many times by only saying that they are themselves. The consequence of integrating only your ego to counter your superego is that you are not meeting reality as it is. Instead, you are stuck only expecting to say bye-bye world, hello me. You're going to be stuck in the past because of this. People won't trust you anymore. You won't get what you want from the world, and you won't be working with the world as a consequence. The world is filled with beautiful things when you align your full consciousness with it. And the natural expectation of the world is not your expectation, but it is not your ego's either. The other important part of consciousness is called the id. Your body's subconscious needs to survive or feel or do. Your ego integrates with your id because you must do things to survive. But you're only going to be stuck overindulging on the unnecessities of life. You won't be enjoying the moment. Instead, you'll be overindulging in the moment. This comes out when people drink booze or consume drugs or talk to people. They say too much, they don't listen because their subconscious need is to feel heard. So they say too much to feel heard. It's consistent. The lack of ego allows for you to integrate all parts of your consciousness. It is necessary for you to not say, I am my ego, for you to exist in this world. I used to think this was true, now I know it is not. Because you are not your ego. Your ego needs defense. It has to be right because that's who I am, is what your ego will say. But you are not your ego because your ego will not evolve if you don't integrate it as a weapon. The weapon allows you to act. The weapon allows you to win, but only when you are in alignment with the world and that sense of self evolves. You must be the version of yourself that the world needs, and you must be all of the version of yourself that the world needs. You cannot ignore your necessities to survive. You cannot ignore what the world expects from you, and you can act in alignment with your will. But if you are only acting in alignment with your will in a moment, then you will not survive. You will perish because there is nothing else left after the self in the moment. To be clear, you have an ego, you have an id, and you have a superego. You also have a conscious mind. In order for you to maintain the ego being a weapon, but not you, you must look inwards. There are dire consequences of only being your ego in this world, and it leads to a reality you don't like. As soon as you recognize when you're being defensive, as soon as you recognize when it is I in a current moment, and it is not we in reality, then you are going to evolve to be a version of yourself with a powerful weapon that acts. Make sure you like and subscribe. Comment if this helped you. I'll see you in the next one.